Okay. The WTC is coming up in the calendar of the year, and this one is a list that's not actually going, but is built for the WTC. It was built by Alistair of the Scottish WTC team. So this is sort of a list review, also a thing like where we talk about what can you actually do with competitive lists in a competitive format when you get to the sharp end of bold action. Um, so this is not going to be historical in any sense of the word. This is the worst that he could build, basically. Let's go. So this is a 17 order dice, 998 points. Pity about those 2 points. British reinforced platoon. And off the record, Alistair calls this the pinball machine. So I'm guessing there'll be a lot of pins. 17 order dice is pretty high for 1,000 points. The average should be somewhere around 14, I guess. Second lieutenant, inexperienced, paying the tax. Home guard section, 5-man green. Ooh, again, very, very cheap. Where does he spend the points? So 2 home guard sections. These are not going to do much. I think they may be sitting in Bren carriers or something, backline holders. The free artillery observer, because why not? Vengeance as the national special rule. That means that he wants to get up close, fairly close, where the pins will be shredded, shedded, not shredded, shed. He'll shed pins in 12-inch. Land mattress, inexperienced. Yeah, that's going to split the enemy forces up. They want to stay at range of each other. A horse-drawn limber to tow that. That's another easy order dice. You could even cut that down a little bit, save a few points, make it a mule even, and you'll get a few more points to spend. A Humber. Ooh, love that. 95 points for a Humber armored car with the light automatic cannon, coaxial MMG. That's a really good armored car because it's 7+, it's close topped, it's armored, it's got recce. That light autocannon is pretty likely to hit when you're going up against enemy armor. So it's sort of a tank hunter or a soft-skinned hunter. And it can even take on veterans as well. Lovely little vehicle. Brain carriers, yep. Look here. 2 brain carriers for the home guard. With the LMG, so that they can split fire. One of the LMGs will be shooting at -1. Do we care? Not massively. And a Darker Steward. That in itself is a good platoon. Second platoon, another lieutenant, 2 more home guard sections, another Humber armored car, and 2 more brain carriers, and another Darker Stew. Wow! This look. Not only does this deliver a whole bunch of pins, it also delivers 4 transport vehicles, 2 stewards, and a Humber. So we're at 6 with 7 armored vehicles. This is basically a tank platoon. This is a faux tank platoon, a pseudo tank platoon. It is exceedingly strong in the armored department here. It's just insanely strong. It's actually got 2 Humbers. It's got 2. That's 8 armored vehicles. Wow! Most people are not going to bring enough AT to deal with this. That won't happen. All the Bren carriers are, though, they are very likely to get charged by enemy chargers. If there's cavalry or Gurkhas around, they will just try and charge them because that will kill the Bren carrier and the crew inside it, most likely. But that said, it is an enormous amount of shots coming out. And look, let's just count out how many pins you can actually do a turn. So the steward can do 2. Each of the Bren carriers can do 2 because the steward can split fire, the Bren carriers can split fire. So that's 6 pins just in this section. Then 7 pins for the Humber armored car. So each platoon can deliver 7 pins. That is 14 pins around. Just on pins, you can delete units each round, just pinning them out. It's massively massively dangerous. This for me is something approaching a 5. It does have one glaring obvious weakness, and that is, of course, its infantry section, which is very, very weak. So perhaps that should cause it to be a 4, but it is in the sharp end here because you just have so many tools. You don't really have anything HE that can zero in though. But having the enemy split up because of the land mattress, and you can just focus you can move that entire wing towards one section of the enemy's army, and he's maybe not able to shift his focus to that part because he's split up, and maybe he's got infantry, they're dismounted, whatever. You're going to overwhelm one section of the battlefield. An extremely strong list here from Alistair. Alistair, thank you so much for the list. Very enjoyable to see what you can do with the very sharp end of bold action. So the WTC this year is dual platoons, generic reinforced, armies of only, with a few allowed units from the theatre books. So as soon as the list are released, I'll start going into that, possibly with Alistair, or maybe I'll invite someone else. But this was a nice start, wasn't it? It was a start where we sort of get a feeling of what can you do, and if you want to go all out on one aspect of the game, pins or armored vehicles, this is what you can do with double platoons, and this is why double platoons is the way to go in competitive tournaments where they allow that. So that was it for me today. I will see you in the next video. Cheers.